Excellencies, ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a symbolic day for the Caribbean region and for Jamaica also. Jamaica is humbled to have been given the opportunity to host the Caribbean Blue Justice Hub. However, I must first start by saying we had a bit of an incident this morning when the executive director was giving a speech. The gentleman is okay resting in the hotel, so for all of you to know that everything is okay. But it also demonstrated a very valuable point. When he had his incident, everyone rushed over to help. Everyone was concerned. We are all wanting to find out what was wrong and to help. And this is what the hub will be about. The unity of the region, that we all work together in strength to defend our nation. As a signatory to the Copenhagen Declaration, Jamaica tried to get the most out of this. We wanted more. So then there was the Blue Justice Initiative, and we tried to get as much. We became members of the community. We were trying to see how much we could get out of the community. Then there was a Blue Resilience Project. Then we had the multi-agency mechanism. And we realized working together in Jamaica, all our agencies working together made us stronger, made us more effective. And we said, but the region could use this. And we can work as a region united to fight against this scourge of IUU and fisheries crimes. Up here on the stage, there are the SDG goals. I'll call to your attention 3 of the goals. SDG 14, which is life below water. Now, SDG 17, working together for the goal. That is what the hub is about, working together for the goal. And the main one, which has been mentioned by almost every country that has said something today, is SDG 1, no poverty. With IUU and fisheries crimes, our legitimate fisher folk are pressured and they are not given an ability to earn what they could from the natural resources of our area. So this, we hope, and we will work together to make sure that we assist our legal fishers to observe SDG 1, no more poverty. So thank you all, and we'll go into the program now. And first of all, I'd like to welcome the Deputy Resident Representative from the UNDP, country office in Jamaica, Mrs. Ava Anderson. White Anderson, if you would like that. Thank you, please.
Thank you. Excellencies, ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon?
Good afternoon.
Okay. It is my distinct honor to greet you on behalf of the United Nations Development Program country offices within the Caribbean region. Nearly 5 years after signing the Copenhagen Declaration here in UN City, we are pleased to return to Copenhagen with a fully engaged and committed Caribbean ministerial team to support the launch of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. This is a powerful demonstration of intergovernmental and interagency cooperation on illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing utilizing digital innovation. For small island developing states, such as those in the Caribbean, the ocean is more than just an engine of livelihoods, commerce, and energy production. It is the inheritance of generations. And the people of small island developing states see this gift as a responsibility. Therefore, developing and maximizing the Caribbean region's blue economy is essential for driving economic development, diversification, and enhancing the quality of people's lives. However, like many other countries stated earlier, the Caribbean faces significant challenges in this mission. A 2022 report on Latin America and the Caribbean indicates that some 8 to 15% of the annual catch is lost to IUU fishing. The United Nations Office on Drug and Crime estimates that the value of fish loss from criminal activities rather, is between 10 to $23 billion annually. Overfishing causes overfishing causes food insecurity, displaces fisher livelihoods and fish-related industries, and is often associated with serious crimes. In the word of Assistant Secretary General for CARICOM Secretariat Joseph Cox, IUU fishing and transnational organized crime is in the global fishing industry constitutes a serious threat to the security and the sustainable use of the region's living marine resources and marine biodiversity. It also jeopardizes food security and blue economic development of the countries in the region. But we have hope. In fulfillment of our global mission focused on eliminating poverty and inequality while building resilience against shocks and crises, UNDP remains resolute in helping countries effectively govern and manage their coastal and marine resources. The Blue Justice Caribbean Hub represents an excellent example of how UNDP intends to leverage digital transformation as a key pillar in our SIDS offer to drive economic development and advance sustainable livelihoods and quality of life with a focus on the most vulnerable populations. We are happy to join forces with our committed CARICOM and international partners to advance the regional and national goals with respect to eliminating IUU fishing through this transformative hub. Through strategic partnerships, UNDP is building digital capacity in the Caribbean to help countries utilize digitalization to address development problems. Importantly, technology and digital innovation can boost ocean governance, reduce fisheries crimes, and enhance sustainable development for all our territories. One example of UNDP's efforts in this arena is Blue Digital. That's a pilot experiment from one of UNDP's accelerator labs in the region that applies digital tools and solutions to improve segments of the blue economy ecosystem and value chains for fisherfolk, government, tourism industry partners, and the general public as consumers. On behalf of the UNDP country offices in the Caribbean, I would like to thank the Norwegian government and the UNDP Blue Resilience Project team for your continued support and guidance. We also would wish to commend all the CARICOM governments for their demonstrated commitments to ending IUU fishing. We believe the Caribbean stands to make a sizable contribution to the achievement of SDG 14, Life Below Water. UNDP, in collaboration with our partners, are committing to providing the requisite resources at the national and regional levels to ensure the hub meets its full potential. Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing all the points together. And you will see up here on the stage we are all represented. The ministers from the region, CRFM is represented, and the Norwegians will be here with us in a minute to give their blessings. So next, we ask Mr. Peter Morris, Senior Advisor to CRFM, to bring his greetings from the Regional Fisheries Mechanism.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will adopt the
Buenas tardes
protocol
a
already
todos.
established.
Vamos a
There are a lot
adoptar el
of things
protocolo
that
ya
I could say
establecido.
that have been said already.
Lo que
And
podría
so,
decir más allá de lo
while
que ya se ha
since I've been
comentado,
here, I actually cut down on what I
como
initially had to
estamos
say,
aquí,
especially in the interest of time. You must be
sobre
tired.
todo,
It's been a long day. But
vamos,
it's important to
vamos
know
tarde
that
y ha sido un
IU
día muy
fishing
largo,
is considered
pero
a
es
major
importante
threat to our fishing
que
resources in the
tenemos
Caribbean
amenazas
region.
mayores
Undermines
frente a
regional
la
efforts
pesca
to conserve
y se
and
tienen que
manage
llevar
our
a
fish
cabo
stocks. And
esfuerzos
we've already
regionales.
spoken about some of those, like
Ya hemos
the loss
hablado,
of,
ya han hablado
of
algunos de
short-term and
ustedes
long-term social and economic opportunities and these things.
de las
So,
diferentes
I mean,
oportunidades
we
sociales.
preaching to the converted. Our countries have expressed
Nuestros
concern
países
about the links between
tienen
IU
diferentes
fishing and
preocupaciones
other forms
sobre la
of crime
pesca ilegal y
related
diferentes
to fishing,
otros
as well as
tipos de
organized
delincuencias,
criminal activities which use fishing as a
actividades
cover.
del crimen organizado.
We are also concerned about the extent of
También estamos
transnational
preocupados
organized criminal groups
por el crimen
involvement
organizado, los
in the
grupos de
fisheries
crimen
sector
organizado
in these
transnacionales
activities.
trabajando en
The CRFM, the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, has identified
Pero el
several
mecanismo
IU
del
fishing
Caribe
activities in the CARICOM region.
tiene
Some of them have already
diferentes
been alluded to by our
actividades, algunas de ellas ya
ministers
se han
in earlier
mencionado.
interventions. If
Los
IU
ministros lo han
fishing,
mencionado.
seafood fraud, and commercial maritime criminal activities are not dealt with,
Pero las
they can
diferentes
lead to the
actividades que llevamos a cabo
permanent collapse
podemos
of our
llegar
fisheries
a un
or
colapso
seriously
permanente
impair efforts
de
to
nuestro
rebuild
sector
stocks that have already been
para
depleted.
quedarnos también sin stocks
The
que ya
fight
han sido
against
bastante
IU fishing
perjudicados.
and
La lucha
associated
contra
maritime
la
criminal
pesca
activities
ilegal
is
y
therefore a
las
high
actividades criminales
priority
asociadas
for
es una
CARICOM
prioridad
and hence the Caribbean
vital,
Regional Fisheries Mechanism, which
y
is
el
actually the
mecanismo del
fisheries
Caribe
agency of the Caribbean community.
trabaja con
And
diferentes
these
agencias
countries,
y comunidades
given the
del
impact
Caribe,
on our
los
national
países tienen
and
un impacto a
regional
nivel nacional
security,
y
governance,
regional en la
and
seguridad,
sustainable development of
gobernanza
our
y el
countries.
desarrollo sostenible de la
We have already
sostenibilidad de nuestros
emphasized
países.
our
hemos
commitment to a number of
enfatizado
other instruments that again
compromiso,
have been
amén, de
alluded to
otros
by previous
instrumentos
speakers. I want to
que
note
otros
though
ponentes han
that we have
mencionado.
3
Quería
CARICOM
señalar
specialized
que hay
institutions that work
tres
together to
instituciones
address IU
especializadas
fishing
que
and
trabajan
other
juntas
maritime crime in the region.
para luchar
One
contra otras
is the
actividades
agency for
criminales.
which I have the
Uno
honor
es
to be
la
associated
agencia
with, the Caribbean
con la que
Regional
tengo el
Fisheries
honor de
Mechanism.
estar asociado, es el
2,
mecanismo
the
del
CARICOM
Caribe de
Implementing
pesca.
Agency for Crime and Security, who we
La
lovingly call
agencia
IMPACTS,
contra
and the regional
el
security
crimen
system
organizado,
of
el
made up of
sistema regional de
8 of our
seguridad,
member countries, and we work together to
diferentes
address IU
Estados
fishing.
miembros.
There are other instruments that we have put
Hay
in
otros
place. We
instrumentos
are
que
aware
están
and therefore
implementando, somos
associate ourselves
conscientes
with the
de que se
Caribbean Wildlife
asocian a
Enforcement
otros
Network,
grupos
which
en
we
el
lovingly
Caribe.
call Caribbean. The Western Central Atlantic Fisheries Commission Regional Plan of Action
Las
to
diferentes
combat,
comisiones y planes
deter,
de
and all the
acción
rest of it in terms of IU fishing.
y con el
CARICOM
resto
as a
de
region
actividades
has
contra la
recognized and
pesca
acknowledged the value of the
Reconocemos
Copenhagen
el valor
Declaration
de la
on
Declaración de
transnational organized
Copenhague
crime in the global fisheries
frente al
industry,
crimen
and continues
transnacional
to stand
organizado
ready
y
to
seguimos
cooperate with
listos
other
para cooperar
ocean agencies and UN
con otras
organizations
agencias
to find
oceánicas y
sustainable
organizaciones de Naciones
solutions
Unidas para
against
encontrar soluciones
IU fishing and
sostenibles
transnational organized
frente
crime in the
al
global
crimen
fishing
organizado
industry, to
transnacional
create a
y la
sustainable
pesca ilegal para
and
crear
fair blue economy for
una
all
economía
our
azul
people.
justa
This is borne testimony
sostenible
by
para todo
our
el mundo.
Ministerial Declaration
Los
of
testimonios del
2021 regarding IU
2021
fishing. And my executive director alluded to it already earlier.
y
But
nuestro
most
director ya lo ha
importantly,
comentado
it
previamente,
called
pero lo
upon
más
member states that
importante,
had not at that time
diferentes Estados
yet
miembros
done
que no se
so
encontraban en
to
ese
adopt
momento
the declaration.
ya han adoptado la
Among the
declaración.
priorities and steps mapped out in the
Entre
regional
sus
were mapped
prioridades
out in the regional technical meeting. And member states
y
agreed to
diferentes
follow up with
reuniones
the Blue
técnicas
Justice
para
Initiative
llevar a cabo un
and the Blue
seguimiento de la
Resilience
iniciativa
Project
Blue Justice y el
to
proyecto
advance the
de
region's
resiliencia azul
engagement on
para
its
avanzar las
combined approach
regiones
to address
combinando
IU
diferentes
fishing and
enfoques
transnational organized crime in the fishing
luchando
industry,
contra
and also to
el
support regional
crimen
approaches
organizado.
to working with the
Tenemos
BJI,
diferentes
building on
enfoques
existing policy
para
commitments
construir o mejorar
to
políticas
regionalization
ya existentes
in promoting sustainable fisheries and
para
improving
promover
security,
también
as
una
well as
pesca
enhanced
sostenible y
use
una
of
mejora de la
available
seguridad a la vez
tracking
que se
and
fortalecen nuestras
analytical tools
acciones también de
to improve
rastreo
maritime domain awareness in the
y
region.
mejorar
Follow
los
up with the
diferentes
Blue
ámbitos en
Justice
los que
Initiative
trabajamos,
and
siguiendo
Blue
la
Resilience Project
iniciativa Blue Justice
is,
y el proyecto de
is seen as
resiliencia
being
azul.
consistent with and
Hemos
supportive
sido
of
consistentes
our CRFM
apoyándolo
current activities to deter
y con nuestras
and combat
actividades
IU fishing,
actuales,
including
los
but
combates
not
contra la
limited
pesca ilegal,
to capacity
incluyendo pero
building
no
in
limitando
collaboration
la
with the
capacitación en
8-country regional
colaboración
security system
con
I've
los
already mentioned,
diferentes
and
países
the
que forman parte
elucidation of a CARICOM maritime
la
security
muestra
strategy
de
led
nuestras
by
estrategias de
impacts
seguridad marítima,
and
teniendo
supported
diferentes
by
impactos,
increasing efforts towards
apoyando al mismo
comprehensive
tiempo los
maritime
esfuerzos
domain awareness.
crecientes en
It
el
is in
ámbito
this
de
context
concienciación.
that we place our support behind Jamaica,
Estamos
which
encantados de
in November of
mostrar
last
que
year,
Jamaica,
with
en
support
noviembre
from
del
the
año
Blue Justice
pasado,
Initiative, launched a new
apoyamos esta
multi-agency fisheries crime
iniciativa
coordination
con
mechanism
el plan de
to combat
coordinación
organized crime in the
multiagencias para
fishing industry.
combatir
But-
el crimen organizado en nuestro
This,
sector.
here now,
Pero
Caribbean Blue
en
Justice
este momento,
Hub, we think will serve
hub,
as a focal
del
point
Caribe
for the priorities
tiene unos
and
puntos
next steps
centrales, una serie
mapped
de
out in
prioridades y
our
pasos que
regional
seguir.
technical meeting we held some time ago, and
que
is,
hablamos
I
en
am proud to
nuestra
say,
reunión,
a fitting
y me
addition
siento orgullosa
to
de
the
poder
CRFM
decir
celebration of 20
que
years.
seguimos trabajando
So,
y
thank you very
celebrando
much.
nuestras acciones, así que
Thank you.
muchas gracias.
Thank you, sir,
Muchas
for
gracias.
bringing it all together to showing how the hub fits in
Por
with the
asegurar,
CRFM's policy
la referencia
documents,
con el hub
the
y los
plans,
diferentes documentos con los que,
and
planes
for
con
the
los que
20th year
trabajamos.
celebration. Now
por
I'd like
nuestro
to
20
ask
aniversario.
the
Ahora me
Minister
gustaría
of
darle la
International
palabra al
Development
ministro
from
de Desarrollo
Norway.
Internacional de
I
Noruega.
really don't want to assassinate her
No
name.
quiero asesinar
So
su
I
nombre,
would
lo
like her to
siento.
help me
Así que
when
me
she
gustaría
gets
que me
here to
ayude
bid her
a
greeting.
pronunciar su nombre.
To- Thank you very
Well done.
much.
Well done.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, and
Muchas
thank you for
gracias.
allowing me the
Muchas gracias
floor to
por,
say a few
por
words
darme
of
la palabra y
congratulations, because this is
dirigir
truly
unas palabras de
exciting
felicitación,
innovation.
porque efectivamente
We
es una
applaud the
innovación
dedication
emocionante.
and the
Vemos la
impatience and the
dedicación y la
very
implicación
operational approach that
de
has
enfoques
resulted in
muy
this
operativos
hub,
que
which
dan
is the Hub for
resultado,
Action.
que han dado como resultados este hub.
We
esta
were
plataforma.
excited and
Estamos
very much welcome the
emocionados
Ministerial Council's
y
decision from May
damos la
last year,
bienvenida a
where
las
all the
decisiones que se
ministers
tomaron el año pasado con
of
todos los
fisheries in this
ministros
region, in the
y
region of the
oficinas en esta
Caribbean,
región
came together to
del
underline
Caribe,
the
cómo se han
importance of
unido para
combating
subrayar la
IUU
importancia
and
a la
organized
hora de
crime. And
combatir
in that
la pesca
conclusion
ilegal y el crimen
from the
organizado.
Ministerial Council,
En esa
the
conclusión del,
ministers
del
stressed
Consejo
the
de
importance
Ministros
of the
señala la
of
importancia
the Copenhagen Declaration and the Blue
de la Declaración
Justice
de Copenhague
Initiative.
y la
And
iniciativa Blue
Today's
Justice.
launch of a
Y
roadmap
hoy
and a regional
mostramos una
Blue
hoja de
Justice Hub is a
ruta
concrete follow-up
y
of
este hub
those
es un
conclusions.
seguimiento concreto de dichas
And it is
conclusiones.
such a strong sign of the whole
Y es
region's
una muestra muy
engagement
importante
to
de cómo
foster
todo, del
stronger
compromiso de todas las
collaboration,
regiones
both
para
within
conseguir
the
una
nations,
colaboración más
in the
fuerte
region,
dentro
but
de
also
la,
within
entre
and
regiones
between the agencies, which is
y
very,
entre
very
las diferentes
important.
agencias, lo cual es muy
And the
importante.
UNDP Blue Resilience Project will
Y el
support
proyecto
the
de
implementation
resiliencia
of
azul
this
apoyará
roadmap.
la implementación de
Let me
esta hoja de
also
ruta, por
use
supuesto.
this opportunity to
También me
recognize
gustaría
Jamaica's
aprovechar
true
esta
leadership,
oportunidad para reconocer
and
a Jamaica
example in
su
in
ejemplo
fostering this initiative. Thank you.
para potenciar esta iniciativa. Muchas gracias.
And I'm positive that I speak not only on behalf of Norway,
Y no solo
but,
me gustaría hablar en nombre de
on behalf
Noruega,
of everyone in this room
y
when
en
we say
nombre
that we
de
congratulate
todos en
you
esta
and
sala
we
cuando
support you and we will
decimos que les apoyamos y les
collaborate with you
felicitamos.
in
Estamos
your,
encantados de poder
endeavors.
colaborar
Thank you.
con ustedes desde Europa. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much for those lovely greetings.
Muchas gracias por esta
Now we
felicitación.
will be having a video presentation
Vamos a tener una
about the
presentación en vídeo
regional efforts to combat
de los
IUU and
esfuerzos
organized crime in the fisheries
regionales
sector.
y los
Fisheries
combates.
crime.
Our oceans have been historically
Nuestros
a major
océanos han
crime
sido
scene.
históricamente
Jamaica being an archipelagic state that causes us to have an EEZ which is 25 times greater than our landmass. Needless to say, enforcement of this space is both limited by capacity and by cost.
If we look on the foreign motor fishing vessels that we have apprehended since the 1980s, and if we extrapolate the information on the average rate of poaching, we are looking at losing approximately 300 million US due to the foreign IUU fishing.
IUU fishing accounts for up to
debido a la
30%
pesca ilegal.
of the
Y representa un
total global
30%
catch,
de las capturas
valued at
globales en total,
several billion
lo que supone
of US dollars.
miles de millones de
IUU
dólares
fishing
en
creates
pérdidas.
economic hardships for our
Esta
people,
pesca ilegal
our countries, our
es
fishing
un
enterprises,
problema
our small-scale fishers in particular,
para
who abide by
diferentes,
the rules and in consequence face unfair
con diferentes
competition
consecuencias a las que
from
tenemos que hacer
IUU
frente para conseguir
operators.
una competición más
IUU
justa y
fishing
desigual
by
que trabajamos.
foreigners is a violation of our
Son,
sovereignty and territorial
se-
integrity. We in the
va en
Caribbean
contra de
region
nuestra
cannot
soberanía.
continue
Nosotros en
to
la
allow
región
our
del Caribe
fishery
no podemos
resources
seguir
to be
permitiendo
plundered and
que nuestros
destroyed and our
recursos se
conservation
destruya
efforts undermined by criminal
y se
operators
socaven nuestros
operating in the fishery
recursos
sector.
de los que operan en el sector de una economía sostenible.
CRFM is a
una acción más
regional
justa en el
institution
sector pesquero.
established by the heads of
Nuestras
government of the
instituciones
Caribbean
y-
community.
y la
Fisheries
comunidad del
crime
Caribe,
and
los
IUU
crímenes,
fishing
crímenes pesqueros,
have
la
naturally been
pesca
high
ilegal,
priority areas for the
ha sido
CRFM
una-
for
un
several
área
years. And in
principal.
fact, we have made significant strides in addressing them,
Hemos
in my opinion.
llevado
But
a
there's
cabo
still a lot more
diferentes
to be done.
acciones.
The CRFM has been instrumental in awareness building and advocacy to combat and deter IUU fishing in the region. Since the Castries Declaration in 2010, Jamaica has been involved in several initiatives through the CRFM, such as the development of a regional strategy on the monitoring, control and surveillance to combat IUU in the CARICOM, CARIFORUM region in 2013. Jamaica has also benefited from the updating of our prosecution and enforcement manuals, the development of our regional strategy on IUU for fishing in 2015, the training of our enforcement officers, and in 2019, the development of a decade-year plan to prevent and to deter IUU fishing in all weaker sea members.
We have been working with the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM, since 2017 in bringing a training program for the member states, Coast Guard, Maritime Law Enforcement units that will give them some tools to work with in terms of not only a background with fisheries management, but in terms of looking at the enforcement component, actually preparing and getting cases of a fisheries nature to court for resolution.
This problem requires regional and international level cooperation to address effectively. So Norway is making available to our satellite technology and other digital tools and platforms to help small vulnerable countries like ours build capacity and cooperate with
crear esta
others and
capacitación
so strengthen our
es de
overall
vital importancia
efforts to combat the problem
y
of
traducirlo en
IUU
esfuerzos
and
dentro de los combates que llevamos
organized
a
crime in
cabo
the fishery sectors.
frente a
The
la,
Copenhagen
al crimen
Declaration
organizado.
complements
La
the
declaración de
2010
Copenhague
Castries Declaration on
complementa
IUU
la
fishing, which
declaración
provides
referente
CRFM member
contra
states
la
with
pesca
a
ilegal
harmonized
con
framework
miembros
to combat
con un
IUU
marco
fishing.
armonizado
Through the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism
a través de este
in
mecanismo
CARICOM,
de pesca del
no
Caribe
less
en
than
CARICOM,
12 Caribbean countries have
más de
decided to
12
join the
países del
declaration.
Caribe
Through
se han
Blue
unido a la
Justice,
declaración
Norway
a través
supports
de
a number of projects
la
against
iniciativa
fisheries
Blue
crime.
Justice
This includes
y los
the
diferentes miembros.
training
Esto
of law
incluye
enforcement,
la
interagency
formación
and
y
international
los cuerpos
cooperation,
policiales y la cooperación
and the
internacional
development of digital
y el
tools.
desarrollo de herramientas digitales. Trabajar juntos contra el crimen pesquero.
My vision is to see the
usando la
Blue
innovación
Justice Caribbean Hub serving as that nexus to have active information exchange, communication, and cooperation between all countries in the region using the Blue Justice platform.
To have a holistic strategy, legal framework, and policy apparatus to fulfill our needs, to secure our borders and our natural resources.
And together with the UNDP Blue Resilience, we hope to bolster the capacity for training and capacity support so that we can really now combat the transnational organized crime in the fishery sector.
You know, we're very grateful for these initiatives, and we're hopeful that in the coming months and years, we can turn the table on the illegal operators and eventually stamp them out completely from the region.
Okay, so that demonstrates and shows the commitment of the region and our fisheries mechanism and the countries around. So now I'll ask our Honorable Minister Pernell Charles Jr. from Jamaica, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, to give us his address. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bellamy. Good afternoon, colleagues, ministers, excellencies, all of the distinguished, lovely people on the platform here. There's not a lot that I need to say because so much has been said already. But since we took the time to make this lovely slideshow, I'm going to go through. And I've always wanted to do this, can I tell you? So, Professor Childs right now. And on the screen you see.
En la pantalla pueden observar.
Oh no, I don't need to. Okay. You can tell that I'm just learning. I can look there.
Lo siento, tengo que verla aquí.
We all want the same thing.
Todos vemos lo mismo y vivimos lo mismo.
Create opportunities for a better life for those who are depending on us, those who we serve. We want to advance the big T, the transformation. But we need to do so in a very deliberate way, in a way that doesn't lead to chaos, but rather creates a design that is coordinated.
Un diseño que esté coordinado.
Again, We
de
start
nuevo,
with the philosophy
empezamos
that
con esta
we are
filosofía
all elements, molecules.
de que todos somos elementos, moléculas,
If we fill a space,
y
then there'll
que
be no room for anything else.
si no nos
So if
damos
it is
espacio no
filled
habrá
with
lugar
good,
para nada más.
there's no
Así que
room
tenemos
for.
que necesitamos la
But if
bondad,
it is filled with bad, there's no room for.
pero si está lleno
So where
de
there
la
is
maldad,
fisheries
pues
crimes,
será muy complicado
you won't have
estos crímenes
sustainable fisheries.
pesqueros no permiten
But
la
if you were to flip
sostenibilidad
it,
del sector pesquero.
where
Pero
you
si
have
queremos darle
sustainable
una vuelta,
fisheries, you won't have any room
necesitamos
for.
una pesca sostenible.
What the class needs to read. Let me hold my button.
Voy a
So in the first slide,
aguantar un momento aquí. La
what
primera
we're
diapositiva,
representing
lo que
is that with
estamos
the
representando,
decrease
representamos
in
el
illegal,
descenso
unreported, unregulated
de
fishing,
la
with the
pesca
decrease in
ilegal,
fisheries
no
crimes.
regulada y no
We're
reglamentada.
expecting for there to be more space
Y
created
esperamos que haya
so that we
que se creen
can
más
fill it with
espacios para que podamos trabajar en ello.
sustainability. Who said that? You get an A plus.
¿Quién lo ha dicho? Sí, tienes un sobresaliente.
It may seem simple,
Efectivamente.
but it's a very
Y puede
important
parecer
concept
sencillo,
to
pero
understand.
es un concepto muy importante
And
y
for us to
necesitamos
do so,
entenderlo.
it
Y
requires
para poder
partnership.
hacerlo,
Because a big
necesitamos de la
part of
colaboración.
sustainability
Porque gran
is
parte
that
de la
strategic
sostenibilidad
partnership.
es
You've already
la
heard from
colaboración
others
estratégica.
that with the sustainability
Otros
will
muchos
come
lo han mencionado,
several
pero la
positive
sostenibilidad
outcomes that
necesita
will
da lugar a
ultimately
resultados
lead
muy
to what we all
positivos que
want,
nos llevarán finalmente a lo que todos
improving
queremos,
the lives for those
mejorar
who we serve.
las vidas de aquellos a los que
So,
servimos.
when the fish stock
Así que
becomes
cuando
increased and improved,
eh,
who benefits?
esto,
Our
cuando
fisher
se
folk.
estoca, aumenta, ¿quién se beneficia?
Those who live on the coastal
Aquellos que
areas,
viven en las
who
áreas
right now
costeras,
don't have the opportunity to send their
que no tienen
children
la
to school
oportunidad de mandar
or
a
to
sus
schools
hijos a un
where
colegio,
you send your children to.
a donde vosotros,
But who
ustedes
will be
mandan a
able
sus
to
hijos
get more
quizás.
money, more
¿Quién
revenue,
será capaz de conseguir
stable
más
from
ingresos, más
legitimate
dinero estable
occupation,
eh,
so they
a través
can
de una
open up
ocupación que sea
opportunities?
legítima para poder acceder así a
Our
mayores
artisanal
oportunidades?
Nuestros
Nuestros
our
pescadores
commercial
artesanales,
fishers,
nuestros
and ultimately the
comerciales,
countries will
y
benefit.
en última instancia los
So,
países se beneficiarán.
It highlights then the importance of
Esto
this regional
subraya la
hub,
importancia de este
because it is a
hub
place
regional,
for us to come together
por lo que es
to
un placer para nosotros
provide
poder unirnos
opportunity.
para
And I
dar
said it in my
oportunidades.
presentation earlier,
Y ya lo comentaba en mi
that for
presentación
me,
previamente que
we
para
are
mí
working together to achieve food
trabajamos
security.
juntos para conseguir
We are
la
working
seguridad
together to
alimentaria,
achieve national
trabajamos juntos para
security
conseguir
because of
la
the
seguridad
interlink
nacional,
between
porque
the
en
activities in our
enlace en
marine
las
space
actividades en
and a
los
lot of
espacios
opportunities for
marinos
criminal
y muchas
activity because we're not
oportunidades
seeing
para actividades
that area
criminales
and
porque no las
monitoring it as
vemos
much
en
now.
esa área.
And
Y
also
es complicado
social
monitorearlas.
mobility, which
Tenemos
is the
también la
improving
movilidad
in
social,
earnings and
que es
livelihoods,
la mejora
again, for those
de
who we
los
serve.
medios de vida
And I
para
want to just
de aquellos
highlight,
a los que servimos y quería simplemente
I had the
subrayarlo.
opportunity when I started politics in
Tuve la oportunidad
2016.
cuando empecé
I can't believe that's
en
7 years
2016
ago.
en política.
I
más de
almost
7
sound like
años.
I'm becoming a seasoned politician.
Y ahora
But I
pues,
started out in the Ministry of
formo
National
parte de ello,
Security,
pero empecé en el Ministerio de
where
Seguridad
I was able
Nacional,
to have
donde fui
an
capaz
understanding and a better
de
perspective
entender y tener una mejor
something
perspectiva
called situational
de algo que se
prevention,
llamaba
which is if you want
prevención
to
de la
limit
situación, es decir,
the
si
ability for a
queremos
crime to
limitar
take place,
la habilidad de
then you
un
have to
delincuente
be
para
able to
aprovechar
manage
los
the
recursos, tenemos que
space
ser capaces de
where you don't have
controlar
any
y
light
gestionar el
on a
espacio
street.
para no dejar,
You're
para
giving
no dar
criminals an
lugar
opportunity to
a
walk
que
freely.
se den oportunidades a los
When you
perpetradores
place a
de
light
estos
on a
crímenes.
street, those who want
Cuando
or don't
ponemos una
want to
luz,
be
por ejemplo, en
seen
una calle,
will have to
aquellos que no
find
quieren
another
ser vistos
path.
tendrán que encontrar
So
otro camino.
with this hub,
Así que con este
the hope is that we're
hub
putting not lights on the street, but
podemos
lights
colocar
on
estas
the
farolas
sea,
en la
with more
calle,
eyes
en el
and more
mar,
monitoring and
para
more
poder
surveillance
hacer un
and
seguimiento que sea
ultimately
mejor,
more
una
control.
vigilancia
So what's
mejor
the
y en
structure
última
of
instancia
this
un
Blue
mayor
Justice
control.
Caribbean
Así
hub?
que, ¿en qué consiste
I said
este
it
hub?
before that
Lo decía
it
previamente.
seems somewhat complex.
Parece mucho más
And
complejo.
you can tell that it's Dr. Bellamy who drew
El
this.
doctor Bellamy lo ha dibujado
But it
esto.
shows you
O lo parece al menos.
the
Pero
several
les aseguro
elements
que
to the
los
hub.
diferentes
And
elementos
I have to
del
look on
hub,
this screen because that
y
screen
tengo,
is
tengo
too
que
small for
mirar la
my
pantalla
4
porque
eyes.
esta pantalla es muy pequeña para mis
You
ojos,
can
lo
see
siento.
all of
Pueden
the
ver
various stakeholders from the CRFM to
los
academia
diferentes
and all,
aspectos que
buffered
conforman
and
este
buttressed
hub.
by our partners, the Norwegian
El trabajo de los
platform
diferentes,
managers
la
who are
plataforma
giving support
noruega
and
que nos
advice.
dan apoyo y
And
consejo.
most importantly,
Y lo que es más
the
importante,
success of this hub
el
is going
éxito
to boil
de este
down
hub
to
se
cooperation.
va a
It's the
mejorar
creation
igualmente la
of
cooperación, es la
a
creación
facility not for Jamaica.
de una
happens to be
instalación no
in
solo para
Jamaica.
Jamaica, sino, bueno,
But
en este caso se da en Jamaica,
will see that space
pero Jamaica entenderá
as
este espacio
a space in Jamaica
como
for
un
all of
espacio
the
que
region.
se
So
da en
when our
Jamaica, pero
friends
que es
from
para toda la
Montserrat or
región.
St. Kitts
Así que
come,
si cualquier otro
this is their
amigo
home
o colega quiere
in
venir,
Jamaica.
son más que bienvenidos, porque
And we
Jamaica es su hogar
find
también.
it fitting and we're honored
Y
to
creemos
be the
que
place
es muy
where
importante y es
this
un
will be
honor para
reposed.
nosotros
And
ser
we
el
want
centro
to
de este
just
hub.
highlight and acknowledge the
Quería
CRFM
subrayar
for
el reconocimiento
really, pushing these initiatives.
por seguir apoyando
And
esta
we
serie
expect
de
that it's going to be a place for
iniciativas
you too.
y esperamos
Now,
que sea de su gusto
The next
también.
slide might be a little
En
scary,
la siguiente,
but I want you
bueno,
as
la
you
próxima
look
diapositiva
towards
quizás
the future
da un poco de
to
miedo,
remember
pero
how
quiero que
well
echemos un vistazo al
designed
futuro
and structured this slide is.
y cómo es de estructurada
In
esta
action,
diapositiva.
It's going to look like this.
Sí, se parece un poco a esto, lo siento.
So, when we talk about information exchange,
Cuando hablamos de
we often
intercambio de
want information
información,
to be
a
exchanged
veces
in a
queremos
simplistic way.
intercambiar información de
But the reality
forma
is that if the
sencilla,
hub is
pero
working
la realidad es que
efficiently,
si el hub
it's
funciona
going
de
to look
forma
even
eficiente,
worse than this.
va
But it's going to be
a parecer
streamlined
incluso peor
and it's going to
que
be
esta.
effective
Y va a ser
and it's going to be
efectiva.
well managed.
Y se
So
va a
as the
gestionar de
information is
forma
flying
correcta.
all about
Mientras esta
and
información
creating
vuela de un lugar a otro
complexities,
y crea
what we call
todas
a
estas
web
complejidades que
of
llamamos una
information,
red de información,
those lines, as you notice,
estas líneas, tal
might
como pueden
be
observar,
crossing,
puede
but
que
they
se
are all
crucen,
moving from one
pero
destination to
todas
the
se
next
mueven de un destino
in
al
exactly
siguiente,
the way they are designed.
exactamente
So don't
tal y
be
como están
deterred
diseñadas.
by the
Así que
complexity.
no se
Understand
sientan disuadidos
that with
por la
cooperation and
complejidad de esta
coordination,
cooperación
those
y coordinación.
complexities
Esta
will be simply
complejidad
efficient.
será simplemente eficiente.
Now, the role that Jamaica will play
El papel que
is
tendrá Jamaica
to identify within
es el de
our
identificar
ministries and agencies a
nuestros
super
ministerios
user
y agencias
who will have a
como un uso
responsibility
mayor. Tendremos la
to make sure
responsabilidad
that
de
we are
asegurar
advancing the training of other
que
persons who
avanzamos en
can
la formación de
utilize
los
the platform
procesos para
effectively,
que se pueda utilizar la
and
plataforma
just
de
doing
forma
the following
efectiva
up in terms of the
y
management.
hacer
We're
simplemente
also
el
going to
seguimiento y lo que
identify a
respecta a la
national
gestión.
focal point,
Tenemos que
which will
identificar
be
un punto
the NFA,
central,
as led by Dr. Bellamy,
este
to
NFA,
interact with
representar al
stakeholders,
Bellamy
to give
para
assistance
interactuar
in
y
terms
dar
of
asistencia
identifying points of conflict in
al
other
identificar
countries
puntos
and to
de conflictos en
facilitate
otros países
the
y
management
facilitar
and working
la
between
gestión y el
countries and
trabajo
agencies.
entre
And this
países y
process has
agencias.
already
Y este
started.
proceso
I
ya
must
ha
tell you
empezado. Y debo
that
decirles
the individuals who have been identified
que
are
los
very
individuos
excited
que
about
se han
their
identificado
responsibilities.
están muy emocionados
One
con
of
su
them,
responsabilidad.
Dr. Bellamy,
Uno de ellos,
can't
el
stop
doctor
speaking
Bellamy,
about it.
no puede parar de hablar de
So if
ello.
there's anyone who wants to know more about it, I'm sure that despite the jet lag that we're all feeling, he's more than willing to give you a rundown on his role within this capacity. The other features of the hub that are important is that the hub will be a nexus for active, and we say active because it's not intended, and listen to me carefully, that we will be identifying as an achievement the simple passing of information. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Sometimes, I'm sounding like a pastor now, so forgive me, but sometimes we tick the box of achievement a little too early. Sometimes achievement for us is simply doing that one step before. I want us to be clear. We want active information, and we want that information to be analyzed, and we want that analytical data to be utilized. So we are being very, very careful to make sure that the regional hub sets its goals in terms of execution towards the right achievements. So it will be a nexus for active and secure information exchange to be utilized, communication and cooperation between the countries in the region. It will facilitate technical and capacity support in conjunction with the UNDP Blue Resilience and the Blue Justice community, foster interagency cooperation in and between countries, recognizing the designated in-country focal point operators. It will also provide for confidential and intelligence-driven activities, and it should be like 911. Well, 112, is that it here? You see that I read the brief. Am I the only minister that actually reads the brief? It's like 112, available 24/7. All right, just trying to go back. All right. I literally have no reason to go back, but I've never done this, so I just wanted to try it. Let's go forward. Back? Yes. Okay. Hub activities. So, follow me now, class. The hub activities which have been laid out are pretty simple, and part of what has been articulated already in terms of leveraging the energy that's coming from this launch now. And it's very important to note that we have a full team here from the region. And the reason is because we have prioritized this partnership. This is not just a matter of showing face or appearing at a conference or kind of being a placeholder. We, and when I say we, I'm speaking for ministers and colleagues now. Following the last 2 years when we had to contemplate that the world might not be going forward, where we all woke up to the movie of COVID and realized that we were part of the movie. It's time to get real. It's time to recognize that we have a small window of opportunity where the mindsets have changed and people have realized the importance of not just talking but acting. And so the activities that we are engaged in now is creating an energy, Sir Milton, that we must not let just pass. It's on us to really utilize the energy and drive it forward from this launch into action, as we heard our minister from Norway say. And so, in addition to that, we'll be facilitating the piloting of innovative digital technology to improve vessel tracking, and that's important. For instance, in Jamaica, we have too many fishers that we are losing because of the inability to track vessels. very simple things which we may take for granted. In my constituency, for instance, I lose maybe, well, let me not put a number to it, but too many, just because of this simple absence of simple technology. That will change. Lives will change. Families will change. Also, the facilitation of support for the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub's activities, including connecting the other countries in the region to the activity group, which means that we who are here and already connected are ambassadors and should be going out to call on our colleagues to join. The facilitation of support of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub meetings, and also the raising of awareness and promotion of our activities and forums on bluejustice.org and social media. I want to close off quickly, because I know we have a lot more to do, in moving towards the commitment that will be made right after my presentation. With the hub comes the responsibility now to advance and endorse the activities. And under this international promotion and branding, there will be an official instrument designating Jamaica as the host country. And Jamaica will develop in cooperation with the UNDP and the Blue Justice Initiative a mission and a vision, which is critical, as well as seeking to promote the hub, because it's important for us to make sure that the society, the people, understand what we are trying to achieve and are participants at this stage. Ministers around the room understand what I'm saying. The people must be a part of this process. If the people are dislocated and disconnected from what we're doing, it will not work, because it cannot work without them. As well as having a newsletter so that we can continue to pass information and share with them. And again, as we close, we have to look towards the vision. Where are we going? We know where we are now, but the goal is to move towards a space where we have constant flow of communication that is leading to implementation that is positive, where we're seeing the reduction in the IUU and the elimination of the fisheries crimes, where we have the kind of framework that is strong and resilient and creating opportunities for innovation in this sector, a sector that we believe, that we know has enormous potential, and where ultimately, lastly, but perhaps most importantly, all of what we're doing must be to the benefit of who? Those we serve. So it's about improving livelihoods. And that's what the roadmap will lead us to in the future. Now, I'm on my last slide. I did not draft this myself. So, I'm going to try the words. Thank you. That's a very simple one. Danke sehr. No? Yes? Merci. 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 Merci beaucoup. Grazie. Obrigado. There's one here, but I need some help from the class. What's it? Heartily? Badang. Badang. Good enough? All right, at least a clap for that. Heartily badang. So let me close off before Dr. Bellamy pulls me off in saying thank you. I want to say thank you for listening to me. I want to say thank you to the UNDP for working with us as partners. I know that your mandate as stated, is to end poverty, build democratic governance, rule of law, and inclusive institutions. This hub is taking that mandate one step forward. Thank you to the government of Norway. When I was in Portugal, we had the opportunity to interact with colleagues from Norway. Matter of fact, before Portugal, I had the opportunity when I was in the UK to do so. And you have always been very strong friends to this region. And where others talk, you act. I'll leave it there. To the government of Denmark, for your hospitality and for hosting us, we appreciate it. And last but not least, certainly to my colleagues from CARICOM, and special acknowledgement to the CRFM, to the team, Mr. Milton, Mr. Peter, and others, and all of you as friends and stakeholders who are here to witness this historic moment where we have our first regional hub in the world, and many more to come. One love.
Thank you, Minister Charles. And I hope you won't have to teach class many more times. So now, well, some ministers and some advisors representing countries in the region sitting up here with us. And I'm going to give them the opportunity to express their commitment and what they think of the hub. I know we are basically out of time, so we're going to do it quickly. But first of all, I think I should allow the newest member of the community to speak first. Will you allow me to invite the newest member? Minister Defoe from Dominica, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bellamy. Once again, having the protocol established, I would just quickly move to say, as a fellow fisheries practitioner myself professionally, before quickly moving into politics, for 22 years, I've been a stalwart of the region and regional movement and fisheries development in all aspects in CARICOM. And I say 22 years because I started very early. And so I wish to say we have always moved as a family, and I acknowledge the leadership of Jamaica in the region. In CARICOM, we have never tried to duplicate. Whoever takes the lead, we follow and we champion them. So rest assured that the Commonwealth of Dominica will give you all of the support that is required together in the CRFM mechanism so that we can move forward. And this is always we have done as a family, and we remain strong as a family in CARICOM. So this video we presented earlier would have to be edited. I don't know how, because I am sure today we are number 14, right? 12 initially, and we had today our brother from Barbados and our very own Commonwealth of Dominica. So once again, rest assured of Dominica's support in moving forward with Jamaica as the lead as we move to fight fisheries crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Defoe. No, we'll just move from my left going for advisor. Please, sir, you will be speaking on behalf of Grenada. Correct, sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bellamy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be accused of prolonging your agony this afternoon. So what I will do is just to give our full support on behalf of the people and government of Grenada to this initiative presented by Jamaica on behalf of the Caribbean region. In my earlier intervention, I spoke of the issue of fully supporting regional efforts and initiatives throughout the region to ensure that we actively address and deal with this issue of fisheries crime, which affects the international community and small island developing states in particular. I said I do not want to prolong your agony, so I just want to thank you very much, and Dr. Bellamy and Minister Pernell Charles. Grenada gives its fully support to this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, Minister Dugan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I promise to be extremely brief, but I want to say congratulations to my friend and minister and the country of Jamaica, and also to CARICOM as a whole, because as a new minister myself, I have benefited and felt comforted in the teamwork and brotherhood of CARICOM over the last few months. And I am delighted and impressed with the way forward. And I believe with this step, policing and stopping crimes in fisheries is going to take a huge leap forward. And Jamaica leading the way, we, St. Kitts and Nevis, rest of CARICOM, are delighted to give you full support and follow. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon or good evening. They say politicians always love the mic and the spotlight. Now, in the Caribbean, we say together as one. And we have seen today we are coming together as one to combat a really serious crime or a really serious issue we have within the Caribbean. And standing behind Jamaica or alongside Jamaica, we are happy as the government of Montserrat to support their efforts in helping us combat a very serious issue we have within the Caribbean. Again, well, my political mandate as a MCAP is together we can. And today we are showing as one, we are coming together with unity to fight an issue we face. Once again, we support Jamaica's effort, and thank you to the UNDP and the government of Norway for making this a possibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. And I just want to call to your attention, earlier today, the Minister from Suriname in his video presentation also expressed his commitment to the hub. So we thank the Minister from Suriname also. So now, I think we are almost at the end of our function, and without the assistance, the guidance, and the help of this person as the project manager for the Blue Resilience Project, Dr. Emma Whitboy, I think a lot of things would not have happened as smooth as they have. She has given a lot of her time and energy into this, and we're going to give her some more work by asking her to give the closing comments. Thank you, Doc.
Right. Oh, the short person is here. I'm going to be extremely brief, but I'll say first of all, Excellencies, dignitaries, everybody who's here in person and live stream, it's absolutely wonderful to have you with us, and it's a real honor to be able to say a few closing words. And a few closing words it will be, first of all, because to speak after His Minister Charles is impossible, because he has said everything and so eloquently, and he's so amusing and charming, so I don't have to try and be funny. So we're going to keep it very, very short here. All right. So as you heard, my name is Emma Whitboy, and I'm with UNDP's Blue Resilience Project, which is part of the Blue Justice Initiative. And dare I say that as co-hosts of the conference, we are so excited to see the great turnout. This has been said so many times today, but it really is fantastic. And it's very motivational to see the commitment to addressing fisheries crime globally. So thank you so very much. I know very well how far many of you have traveled and how difficult the travels have been. So thank you very, very much indeed. Congratulations are in order. So congratulations to Jamaica as the host of this regional hub. And congratulations to all of the Caribbean countries. You've expressed your commitment here to being part of this regional effort. And finally, congratulations to everybody who is here for dedicating their commitment to the goal of fighting this global problem of fisheries crime. So the Blue Resilience Project is very proud to be supporting the establishment of regional justice hubs globally, of which the Caribbean Hub is the first. And these hubs will essentially be nodes for developing and sustaining capacity on interagency cooperation to address fisheries crime, both in the host country and then between the countries in the region. And the hub will serve the specific needs that are identified by the countries in the region. And this is exactly what we've heard here today. The countries know what the challenges are, they know, and one needs to then be working with and building on existing knowledge and skills in the countries, in the region, and working in close coordination with existing mechanisms and policy frameworks. That's what needs to be done. And the secure online digital platform that has been mentioned, the Blue Justice Community, provides the digital town hall, as it was, for these hubs and for this Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. It's here where information can be safely exchanged and data analysis can take place, but also where government agencies can connect, where they can talk, communicate, and they can build the trust that is absolutely vital to be able to jointly deal with the challenge that is ahead. So that's all I'm going to say. Also, because I'm getting extreme pressure because we need to go upstairs and start with our food and our snacks. We wish the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub all the best, and we all are, and I personally very much am looking forward to working closely with you in your wonderful work that I know lies ahead. And thank you so much for all the kind words and all the support, and thank you also to Ava from the Jamaican Multi-Country Office for being here. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Thank you all for being here to witness this occasion. Thank you, ministers, for your contribution. Have a lovely day.